Good morning, America. On the brink, the tropical storm about to become a major hurricane. The Trump-Putin summit just hours away, and the family feud over an R&B icon. Aaron on the brink. On track to be the first major hurricane of the season, expected to become a Category 3. Ginger has the tracking and the timing.
President Trump and Russia's Vladimir Putin face-to-face just hours away. The president on the challenges he will face, as Putin says there is more on the table than Ukraine. Martha Raddatz and Mary Bruce on the ground in Alaska, Ian Pannell in Ukraine.
Grounded? The major airline canceling all flights due to a potential flight attendant strike impacting more than 100,000 customers.
New overnight, the surveillance video showing the car of the convicted Idaho college killer circling the neighborhood the night of the murders.
GMA exclusive, major medical breakthrough, a new nasal flu vaccine delivered to your home. Could this mean no more shots? We'll tell you how it works.
Family feud over R&B icon Gladys Knight, her son accusing Knight's husband of elder abuse. What both sides are saying this morning.
The woman trapped in this burning car and the young man who saved her life, pulling her out of the flames.
I wouldn't be here had it not been for Nathan.
Their emotional reunion just ahead.
And what's going on here? This robot isn't making it even 1 mile. The moment at the tournament for AI robots going viral this morning.
You have any kids?
And it's the song taking over the end of summer.
Yes, I have one daughter.
Luke Holloway and his Tinder text anthem that's taken on a life all its own.
Ellipses. I have one daughter.
Live from ABC News headquarters in New York City, it's Friday. Good morning, America.
Good morning, America. Happy Friday, everybody. It sure is pretty catchy. It's actually a very genius idea what he does.
Yes.
And you know, I'm happy Friday, everybody. And it's great to be here with Whit and Rebecca.
Yes, it is great to be here. That the Tinder messaging hits a little close to home, my friends tell me. Okay, we've got a lot to get to this morning, including 2 economic headlines from mortgage rates. They are lower, which means the price of a home could be cheaper, and a supermarket staple. We're going to break down exactly what it means for your wallet.
But we do have 2 major stories we're following this morning. President Trump leaving for that high-stakes summit with Vladimir Putin. We have team coverage in Alaska and Ukraine.
But first, we begin the tracking Aaron in the Atlantic. The storm gaining strength and expect to become a major hurricane this week. And of course, Ginger is joining us now with the latest on that. Good morning, Ginger.
Good morning, Michael. Less than 600 miles now east of the U.S. Virgin Islands. We're watching Aaron get his life together. So more organization. And that's why we have tropical storm watches up for St. Martin, Barbuda, Anguilla, and a couple of the other islands. But this core of this storm as a hurricane is going to pass north of Puerto Rico. That's by Sunday morning as a Cat 3. Then it will go on up and even a Cat 4 by Monday morning, staying east of the Bahamas. Now let's talk about the impacts that you might see in the U.S. Virgin Islands or Puerto Rico. Through the weekend, you're going to see heavy bands of rain on the very outskirts here, but still that could produce 2 to 4 inches, locally up to 6. So you could see some big gusty winds in there, more than 40 miles per hour, even for the Dominican Republic as we go through Sunday night. But after it leaves there, it looks like that high pressure system that's been steering it weakens. And so as it goes east, it will open up this pathway with the cold front in place for it to squeeze between the two. And that's why we still think no matter how close it gets, the impacts will be bigger. So the Outer Banks, I'd prepare for erosion, but definitely the entire coast ready for rip currents and high surf. A lot of people have vacation plans next week along the beaches, and this could be very dangerous.
Yeah, well, thank you for that, Ginger. Appreciate the warning. All right, we got the high-stakes summit in Alaska between President Trump and Vladimir Putin. The president hoping to make progress on a deal to end the war in Ukraine. ABC News will have special coverage throughout the day. We have team coverage this morning, starting with Chief White House Correspondent Mary Bruce in Anchorage, Alaska. Good morning, Mary.
Good morning, Michael. Well, this is the most high-stakes gamble of President Trump's second term so far. A meeting he's been promising would happen since his very first day back in office. But now even President Trump concedes that ending the war in Ukraine is proving to be much harder than he thought. Moments ago, President Trump taking off for Alaska, where he'll come face-to-face with Russian President Vladimir Putin for their high-stakes summit to try and end the war in Ukraine. he's confident he can convince Putin.
I think that President Putin would like to see a deal. I think if I weren't president, he would take over all of Ukraine.
But the president, who once promised he could end the war in 24 hours, now concedes it's not that easy.
But I thought the easiest one would be this one. It's actually the most difficult.
Putin has been trying to set the stage, heaping praise on Trump. Putin saying the current American administration is making quite energetic and sincere efforts to stop the hostilities, stop the crisis, and reach agreements that are of interest to all parties involved in this conflict. Saying Trump wants to create long-term conditions for peace, both between our countries and in Europe and in the world. But Ukrainian President Zelensky, who won't be in the room, says Putin is bluffing. Zelensky, concerned about Trump's support for an exchange of territory, is calling for a ceasefire first and then negotiations. Aboard Air Force One this morning, Trump saying he won't agree to swap territory without Ukraine.
They'll be discussed, but I've got to let Ukraine make that decision. And I think they'll make a proper decision. But I'm not here to negotiate for Ukraine. I'm here to get them at a table.
The Ukrainian president, backed by European leaders, also demanding security guarantees. Trump has said there will be severe consequences if Putin doesn't agree to a ceasefire. But he's also described today's meeting as a feel-out to see what's possible. Putin now says he has other goals from this meeting that go beyond the war in Ukraine, that he wants to discuss nuclear arms control. The Kremlin saying trade and economic cooperation will also be on the agenda. Trump admitting he thinks there's a 25% chance the meeting fails. But if it doesn't, he says he wants to quickly bring Putin and Zelensky together, possibly even bring Zelensky here to Alaska.
I think it's going to be a good meeting, but the more important meeting will be the second meeting that we're having.
Now, President Trump has said there will be severe consequences if Putin doesn't agree to a ceasefire, but it's not clear still what those consequences would be, though Trump has been threatening harsh sanctions. One other question here today, will we see a joint press conference later this afternoon with President Trump side by side answering questions with Vladimir Putin? Trump has said that would be nice, though he says if this doesn't go well, he'll just do his own press conference and head home.
Something to watch. Mary, thanks so much. We appreciate it. Trump and Putin may have different ideas of what a successful summit would look like. Our Ian Pannell is standing by in Ukraine. But first, Chief Global Affairs Correspondent Martha Raddatz is in Anchorage as well. Martha, good morning.
Good morning. The Western world has been isolating Putin since he invaded Ukraine more than 3 years ago. So this really is the first time an American president has met with Putin since then. So that alone is a win for Putin. And the fact that President Zelensky is not here at Putin's insistence is also a win for Putin. Zelensky and European allies have been deeply concerned about this meeting. After all, it is Zelensky's country that was invaded. And of course, that war is deeply affecting Europe right next door. As we know in the past, Trump has also shocked Western allies when he sided with Putin over Russian interference in the election in 2018. So even though Zelensky and the allies had a positive virtual meeting this week with Trump, there is great anxiety about what will happen next.
Great anxiety with such high stakes. Okay, Martha, thank you. We are now going to turn to our chief foreign affairs correspondent, Ian Pannell, who's in Ukraine. And Ian, we know Ukraine and its European allies will be watching this meeting very closely. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Rebecca. That's right. And it may be the biggest gamble of Trump's presidency. But as Martha says, it's Ukrainian lives on the line. They've endured 11 years of Russian aggression, including nearly 3.5 years of full-scale war. We've seen hundreds of thousands killed, millions forced from their homes. So the mood here is somber. Hope for peace is tempered by bitter experience. We have these nightly Russian attacks that terrorize the country. There were more last night. And Ukrainian forces are stretched dangerously thin as Russia advances slowly on the battlefield. Russian and American promises have been broken before, peace agreements have been violated, and today Ukrainians don't even have a seat at a meeting to decide their own fate. So I think few people here expect a significant breakthrough. At best, they hope for a temporary ceasefire, but having sacrificed so much, Ukrainians are not going to accept the loss of their land, nor settle for anything less than security guarantees that means they will not be attacked by Russia once again. Rebecca?
Yeah, that's right, Ian. Okay, thank you. And as a reminder, ABC News will have live coverage as these events unfold this afternoon. David Muir and the entire team will be leading that. Michael?
All right, thank you, Rebecca. Now to the federal takeover of the Washington, D.C. police force. Overnight, Attorney General Pam Bondi named an emergency police commissioner. Perry Russom is in Washington with the latest. Good morning, Perry.
Michael, good morning to you. Major questions over who the police in D.C. are going to take orders from. Local leaders challenging this move made by Attorney General Pam Bondi overnight to effectively remove the police chief and have her replaced by the head of the DEA and make him the emergency police commissioner. It comes as the National Guard continues to be deployed in the city. The Attorney General of D.C. is calling Bondi's move unlawful and beyond federal authority. Bondi wants the head of the DEA, Terrence Cole, to assume all the powers and duties given to the police chief and says the police must get Cole's approval before issuing any directives. Mayor Muriel Bowser is rejecting the order, saying there's no statute that conveys D.C.'s personnel authority to a federal official. Whip.
Perry Russom, thanks for that. Now to ICE agents descending on downtown Los Angeles, conducting a raid near where California Governor Gavin Newsom was announcing redistricting plans. Chief National Correspondent Matt Gutman is in L.A. with the very latest. Matt, good morning.
Hey, good morning. What we saw here in downtown L.A. yesterday was a mashup of two of the major political battles in the country right now. The coming redistricting efforts in Texas and California and immigration raids in cities like Los Angeles. And state officials here telling us that the man federal officials arrested outside that Democratic event, he was just there selling strawberries.
A group of heavily armed Border Patrol agents descending on the streets of Little Tokyo in the heart of Los Angeles Thursday, an operation taking place just outside a political event with prominent Democrats, including California Governor Gavin Newsom, where they announced that California would fast-track redistricting to ensure more Democrats are elected to Congress in the midterms, which they said was in response to what Texas is trying to do with Republican members of Congress.
Donald Trump, you have poked the bear, and we will punch back. We have got to meet fire with fire.
The location and timing of the raid not going unnoticed.
And right outside, at this exact moment, are dozens and dozens of ICE agents. You think it's coincidental?
Agents apprehending at least one person before moving on.
The reason for our presence here in Los Angeles is to make, first off, Los Angeles a safer community.
Last month, a federal judge temporarily barring DHS from arresting undocumented people solely on the basis of factors like race in 7 counties, including Los Angeles. The Trump administration now asking the Supreme Court to lift those restrictions. Democrats condemning the administration's tactics as intimidation.
There was no reason in the world for them to come here. Nothing to do with safety. In fact, this is the exact opposite of keeping our city safe. We do not need them here, and they had no business to come here and provoke this.
We have learned also of a death in a separate ICE operation, also here in Los Angeles County. A man city officials said was fleeing ICE agents raiding a Home Depot, reportedly fled the store on foot onto a highway, was hit by a vehicle and killed. Now, the Department of Homeland Security is weighing in. They're saying the victim was not being pursued by DHS law enforcement at the time, and they say they're not even aware that this incident happened until operations in the area had concluded. Rebecca.
All right, Matt, thank you. We turn now to the major airline canceling all flights ahead of a possible flight attendant strike, threatening to disrupt travel plans for more than 100,000 passengers a day. Mola Lenghi is live at Dulles Airport, one of the travel hubs where Air Canada operates here in the U.S. Good morning, Mola.
Oh, good morning, Rebecca. Yeah, the airline, airports, passengers all bracing themselves for what's shaping up to be a massive disruption to Canada's largest airline. A disruption that's sure to have a ripple effect here in the United States. Air Canada has begun canceling flights in anticipation of a full flight attendant strike set to take effect in less than 24 hours. So far, more than 50 flights have been canceled, and the airline says it expects to cancel around 500 flights throughout the day today, impacting over 100,000 customers. Again, just today. Now, the sticking point in negotiations between the airline and flight attendants union has been flight attendant salaries. Air Canada says it's still hoping they can make a last-minute deal, but if not, a full shutdown of the airlines expected by Saturday morning, which will affect around 130,000 customers every single day that shutdown is going on. Airports in Canada are adding extra staff to airport terminals like these here behind me to help passengers through the disruption. And Air Canada says that customers whose flights are canceled can expect a refund and potentially to be rebooked on another airline, Michael.
Yeah, hopefully they can get this sorted so people can get along and get on their way there, Mola. Thank you so much for that. And we're going to turn now to an incredible story caught on camera. A woman is trapped in a burning car, a Good Samaritan running to rescue her. Will Reeve is here with that for us. Good morning, Will.
Hey, good morning, Michael. We shared this story earlier this summer. It was just a terrifying scene for the driver with unimaginable courage and calm under pressure from the Good Samaritan. And this morning here on GMA, they're reunited to share their story and their gratitude.
Where you at? This morning, an emotional reunion between the woman trapped in this burning car
Right here.
and the Good Samaritans who saved her life.
I wouldn't be here had it not been for Nathan.
69-year-old Mary Frances McClorid says she was driving along a remote New York highway around 4 a.m. in early June when she fell asleep at the wheel, her SUV rolling over, pinning her inside as it caught on fire. Her burnt fingers still bandaged.
I remember trying to protect myself, like just putting my hands and my arms up and turning my body to the right side because that's where the heat was coming. There's no way I was getting out of that car.
23-year-old Nathan Felix says he happened to be passing by when he saw McClorid's car and jumped out to help.
I could hear somebody screaming, and then she's like, help me, God, I'm hearing her in there panicking, so I'm trying to do whatever I can to possibly assist her.
In this police body camera video, you see first responders arrive to the scene and hand a fire extinguisher to Felix, who sprints straight toward the inferno. One officer using a window-breaking device to crack open the sunroof as Felix pulls McClorid out.
Once we got her out, she was like screaming and everything. I was like, thank you, God. That's all I was saying in my head. Thank you, God.
McClorid says she spent over a month in the hospital with severe burns covering more than 20% of her body. She returned home earlier this week and got the chance to meet the man who risked his life to save hers.
It was overwhelming what this young man did. What young person runs up to a vehicle that is now caught on fire and still tries to get somebody out of it? I can't thank Nathan enough. I don't even have words to thank him. I don't know how to thank him, other than to say, if you ever need me, I'm always here in your life.
I love that reunion. Mary Frances says Nathan is like a new nephew to her, and she credits her in-car safety system for recognizing that she was in an accident and contacting 911. But when you got Nathan there, excellent stuff.
Yeah, that was some great footage there. Thank you. I'm glad she's okay. Thank you, Will. Coming up, we have newly released video from the night of the Idaho College murders. Kana Whitworth will have all the details for us. Hey, Kana.
Hey, Michael. So authorities say that video is of the killer driving around near the King Road home at the time of the murders. Plus, we have new chilling details about what he was searching for on his phone. That's all coming up.
All right, Kana, thank you. Also ahead, the battle over R&B icon Gladys Knight, her son accusing the legend's husband of elder abuse. What both sides are saying this morning.
Plus, an ABC News exclusive nasal flu vaccine, meaning no shots, and you can take it in the privacy of your own home.
Coming up, the cost of one grocery staple is on the rise. We'll tell you what it is when we come back. Welcome back to GMA. Who can resist ABBA? What did you say, Whit? You hear this one time, it's stuck all day?
All day. We're going to be singing it now.
Dancing Queens.
Dancing Queen. Last night, the band's jukebox musical, Mamma Mia, returned to Broadway. The beloved show closed 10 years ago. We're going to have all the details on that in pop news.
It's a good song to have stuck in your head, though. If you got to have one, that's the one. But first, new at 7:30, all eyes on President Trump this morning, heading to Alaska for his meeting with Vladimir Putin. ABC News will have special coverage throughout the day and will be on the ground in Alaska with more in our next hour. And news about grocery prices. The wholesale prices of vegetables have skyrocketed in recent weeks by up to nearly 39% between June and July. Experts say this is due to tariffs having an impact on the supply chain. While major retailers are attempting to absorb the costs, they may have an effect on your wallet in the coming months.
And speaking of wallets, Nike co-founder Phil Knight and his wife Penny have pledged to donate the largest ever single gift to an American university $2 billion going to the Oregon Health and Science University's Knight Cancer Institute. The school says the donation will help ensure cancer patients have access to all medical, financial, and support resources that they need. So generous and so good to see.
Very incredible gift.
Yeah.
Wow. All right, thank you for that. We're going to turn now to the newly released footage from the night of the Idaho College murders. Surveillance video obtained by ABC News capturing the killer's vehicle circling the neighborhood. Kana Whitworth has the latest. Good morning, Kana.
Yeah, Michael, good morning. So authorities releasing that video of what they say is Brian Kohberger's car sort of looping around the home on King Road just prior to the murders. The video was captured on a security camera at less than 50 feet from Xana Kernodle's bedroom. This morning, newly released surveillance footage, authorities say, shows confessed killer Brian Kohberger driving around the house where minutes later he would murder 4 University of Idaho students. His white Hyundai Elantra seen circling the neighborhood several times, making 3 passes by that King Road home between 3:30 and 3:58 a.m., minutes before investigators say he entered the home. Around 4:17 a.m., you hear what sounds like a voice, followed by a loud thud. Then a dog can be heard barking. Investigators say that was a prominent sound.
The dog barking is probably the most consistent noise on that video.
The car seen leaving at a high rate of speed around 4:20 a.m., careening around the street. He tried to hide his movements by disabling his Wi-Fi and manually powering down his phone, according to the digital forensic experts who analyzed his devices. But less than 2 hours later, he was calling his parents, 11 interactions with them the day of the murders. The experts also saying they found evidence of disturbing search history on Kohberger's devices weeks after the murders, including Christmas night.
Brian Kohberger spent a majority of his night on Christmas doing a deep dive on serial killers.
I mean, it was ridiculous details about all of these different serial killers, and he just clicked one after the other.
And while forensic evidence revealed no direct link to the victims, they do say that he used Google Maps to search for the Mad Greek. That's the restaurant where both Mogen and Kernodle worked. Guys.
All right, Kana Whitworth, thank you for that. We appreciate it. Now to the son of Gladys Knight, accusing her husband of elder abuse as the R&B legend continues to tour at 81 years old. Knight firing back this morning, and Morgan Norwood is here with the details. Morgan, good morning.
Good morning to you. We had a lot of people talking about this story. So Gladys Knight is gearing up to hit the road again for the second leg of the Queen's tour, sharing the stage with legends like Patti LaBelle and Chaka Khan. But her only living son is publicly questioning whether she's ready for it and claiming that she may be being pushed to perform. This morning, legendary singer Gladys Knight's health is now taking center stage in a bitter family battle.
I don't want my mom out on tour, on a tour bus, wondering where she's at.
In an interview with entertainment media outlet The Shade Room, Knight's son, Shenga Hankerson, raising concern about his mother's cognitive health. He says he's filed a complaint with the North Carolina Department of Health and Human Services, accusing Knight's current husband, William McDowell, of elder abuse.
Not knowing where she is, not knowing where William is a big thing for her. And that's my biggest issue.
In a statement to ABC News, Gladys Knight responding, saying, "I'm sorry that my health and performances have been misrepresented. I am doing very well for someone who has been on stage for 3/4 of a century," adding, "I'm healthy and happy." William McDowell also telling us he's letting Knight's statement speak for the situation and won't be making any additional comments. It comes as fans raise concerns, pointing to videos like this showing moments when the 81-year-old appears lost or needs assistance. Shenga told The Shade Room he witnessed a similar instance firsthand.
She zoned out. They're having to rewind the teleprompters because my mom is forgetting to even look at them.
But this isn't the family's first legal dispute. Shenga pleading guilty to charges involving the now shuttered restaurant Gladys Knight's Chicken and Waffles in Atlanta after failing to pay more than $1 million in payroll taxes. His mom lent her famous name to the business, but later suing to have it removed and won. Known as the Empress of Soul, Gladys Knight burst on the scene with the Pips in 1961. The 7-time Grammy winner also topping the charts as a solo artist.
North Carolina Department of Health and Human Services, they need to step in, conduct their own investigation, and determine whether or not somebody is suffering from some type of mental cognitive disability or condition.
And on that note, we asked the state about that. North Carolina Department of Health and Human Services telling us the complaints are confidential and that they do not comment on investigations. Meanwhile, Gladys in a statement telling ABC News saying, "I'm excited to get back on the road with my sisters. See you soon." Definitely thinking about her. So many fans concerned.
Well, we really are, Morgan. All right, thank you for that.
Now with an ABC News exclusive, starting this morning, many Americans can get a flu vaccine without getting a shot or even leaving the house. For the first time ever, some adults and children can get a nasal spray vaccination called FluMist delivered right to their homes. And ABC News chief medical correspondent Dr. Tara Narula is here with all the details. Okay, Tara, Doc, we are excited to have you here because there's a lot of questions here on the desk. There's going to be a lot of questions at home, but this seems like a real game changer.
Well, this is definitely interesting for a lot of people. This is AstraZeneca launching a first of its kind nasal flu vaccine delivered to your home. As you said, it is called FluMist. This is the same vaccine that's been around since 2003, but previously you had to go to a doctor's office or a pharmacy to get it. Now you'll be able to go online, fill out a questionnaire, and a pharmacist will determine if this is something you can have shipped to your home. It arrives, you can use it right away or put it in the fridge and store it till you're ready to use it. It is essentially a nasal spray, so one spray in each nostril, and the idea is that this may be more convenient for people, obviously offers flexibility, and for those people who may be needle phobic, 1 in 4 adults are, 2 out of 3 kids are. Obviously, this offers a much more palatable solution as a nasal spray. Why is this important? We know that 267 kids died in the last flu season, millions of hospitalizations, and the vaccination rate tends to be low overall for flu in this country, less than 50%.
So you mentioned getting it at home. Who's eligible for this at-home delivery?
So, Michael, you may not be eligible.
Yeah, go ahead, hurt my feelings, Doc. Tell everybody what you told me in commercial break.
I told you that this is for people who are 2 to 49 years old.
My internal clock is a lot younger.
We don't know if the flu vaccine knows that. But so if you are in that age range, adults can self-administer this up to age 49, and caregivers can give it to kids ages 2 to 17. Who's not eligible as well? Pregnant individuals, those who are immunocompromised or caregiving for someone who's immunocompromised, kids who are 2 to 4 who have asthma or may have wheezing, and then certain other individuals with other chronic medical conditions.
So big questions people will have. How much will it cost to get this delivered to your home? And what do we know about safety?
So we think that most insurance companies are going to cover this. We do think also that the shipping cost will be about $10 for 4 doses. And in terms of safety and efficacy, it seems to be on par with the needle-based flu vaccine, so equivalent essentially.
And that does sound like it would be less expensive than a doctor's visit, which is going to benefit families. What should families know if they're considering this?
Well, always good to talk to your doctor or your pediatrician to see, are you the right candidate for this? Do you have some reason why you should be getting, for example, the needle-based one? But yeah, always good to have that conversation. But certainly this opens the door, I think, for a lot of families, especially with kids, as we talked about, to be able to do something much easier than the needle.
You said a minute ago you can put it in your refrigerator and save it. So how long could it sit there?
Yeah, it has an expiration date on it, so as long as you do it before the expiration date. So you can order it now just in time for flu season, store it, and then give it to yourself, late September, early October. The idea is usually to get vaccinated before Halloween.
You said give it to yourself. 3 of the 4 of you can give it to yourself.
Sorry, Michael.
Me ordered it the waste because I'm over 49.
I'm almost there with you. Next year, I won't be able to get it either.
Well, get it in while you can, Doc.
I know.
You carry that now. But thank you. Always helpful information. Now with our plate of the day. And if you're worried about robots taking over the world, Will is back with some good news.
This is, as you're all aware, guys, we were talking about this all day. It's the World Humanoid Robot Games in Beijing. And it comprises of
We've all been talking about
it. It's got 500 robots. They can play soccer. They're powered by artificial intelligence. They can box, or
can they?
I don't know. They can run.
All right, that's all right.
What else can they do? They can do some backflips, I saw earlier. But we want to turn your attention to the opening ceremony, all the pageantry there. This is a robot lighting the torch, or trying to.
Why is that so funny?
Yeah, and poor
why
So
did you carry him
close.
out like that? Add insult to
And let's watch it again. Here we go. And humanity safe for now.
I like the little scramble at the end.
We're laughing now, but wait until they're armed with AI super intelligence.
Yeah, well,
and then,
it's not far away,
joke's
so
on
let's
us.
get our laps in while we can.
The good news is we can outrun them.
Well, we always probably have the job of picking them up if they fall.
We'll be there to pick you up, robots, I swear. Coming up, Lori Bergamato is here with the right stuff for heading back to school. And breaking at 8, I will tell you about mortgage rates. They have dropped to their lowest in months, and that is good news if you're trying to buy a home. We'll be right back.
Good morning, America. It's 8 a.m. Breaking news. Aaron on the brink. The storm on track to be the first major hurricane of the season, gaining strength at this hour. Ginger has the tracking and the timing.
GMA Health Alert. Major changes in blood pressure guidelines, especially for pregnant women. Cardiologist Dr. Tara Narula explains the new numbers and if you should use a risk calculator.
And a silver lining for your morning. Grammy winner Laufey is here. Before kicking off her blockbuster new tour, and she's saying,
"Good morning, America." So I propose
Live from ABC News headquarters in New York City, it's Friday. Good morning, America.
Good morning, America. I know you're tempted to try that clapping, but we're not going to ruin it.
In unison.
Laufey had it going. Happy Friday. I want to thank you all for being with us on this Friday morning. It's great to have Grammy winner Laufey in our studio for our summer concert series. Looking forward to that.
We're just easing into our Friday here, and it sounds great. We are also going to eat very well. Chef Josh Capon is here with recipes, all for that U.S. Open watch party. Let's do it.
Getting us hyped and ready, and we are looking forward to the food, that's for sure. And it's our series Try Before You Buy, and Becky Worley is helping you get clean filtered water right at home.
But first, look at the top stories breaking at 8, starting with Aaron. The storm gaining strength and expected to become a major hurricane this weekend. Ginger's tracking the latest. Good morning again, Ginger.
Good morning, Michael. Aaron is cruising west-northwest at 17 miles per hour. You can see the tropical storm watches have been put up. That includes St. Martin, Barbuda, Anguilla, a couple of the other islands that could see those outer bands whipping through. So let's go ahead and tell you what's going to happen here with the cone passing north of Puerto Rico and the U.S. Virgin Islands. So it's going to be far enough away that you don't get the big major hurricane impacts. However, you could see some 2 to 4 inch rainfall, locally up to 6 inches, and gusty winds up to 45. Watch what the track does, because by Wednesday morning, it is still way off the Bahamas, way east. And this is what we think is going to happen. We're going to end up seeing that ridge that's been steering it weaken. And as that weaken, it opens up this channel for the cold front to push it to the north and east, and it'll slip right there, looks like between Bermuda and the Outer Banks. Now, this is still 6 days away, so the closer we get to the Outer Banks, the more impacts we're going to see along the coast. Do plan for rip currents if you have beach plans next week. High surf all the way up and down the East Coast, but we're talking 8 to 12 foot waves when you get closer to some of the jutting out geography of the Outer Banks, Nags Head, others. Be on the lookout. Whit.
Okay, we'll stay on top of it. Ginger, thanks so much. Now to the high-stakes summit in Alaska between President Trump and Vladimir Putin. The president hoping to make progress on a deal to end the war in Ukraine. ABC News will have special coverage throughout the day, and we have team coverage this morning. Let's go back to our chief White House correspondent, Mary Bruce, in Anchorage, Alaska. Mary, good morning.
Good morning again, Whit. Well, this is the most high-stakes gamble of President Trump's second term so far. The president now making his way here to Anchorage, Alaska, where this afternoon he will sit down face-to-face with Russian President Vladimir Putin to try and see if they can make progress toward finally ending the war in Ukraine. Now, both sides have been setting expectations ahead of this. The president has described this as a feel-out meeting, a chance to gauge Putin's temperature. But at the same time, he has also expressed confidence that Putin is ready to make a deal and that he is the president to finally be able to get this done. For his part, Putin has been heaping praise on President Trump. He's also made it clear he's looking to discuss things beyond just the war in Ukraine, like nuclear arms control and economic cooperation and trade. The one person with the most on the line today, though, won't be in the room. That's Ukrainian President Zelensky. He is calling for a ceasefire before any future negotiations. There are still a lot of questions about how this day is going to unfold. What, if anything, will come of all of this? President Trump now says he thinks there's a 25% chance this meeting simply simply fails. But if it doesn't, he says he wants to very quickly get Zelensky and Putin finally in a room together, possibly even back here in Alaska. Rebecca?
Finally, some hope, but a lot on the line there. Okay, Mary, thank you. We turn now to some positive news for those looking to buy a home. New data from Freddie Mac shows mortgage rates hit their lowest level since last October. A 30-year fixed-rate mortgage now averages 6.58%. A 15-year mortgage averages 5.71%. Both are down from last week. And the reason we're seeing this is that Wall Street is growing more and more confident the Federal Reserve will cut interest rates when it meets next month. The Fed doesn't directly set those mortgage rates, but they do typically move in response to lower interest rates. In real terms, that lower rate today means you're saving about $100 on your monthly mortgage bill versus just a few months ago on a $425,000 home. That can make a big difference over time. Over a year, we're talking more than $1,000. Some experts say because rates are dropping now in anticipation of a cut, they might not drop as much when the cut actually happens, but lower rates are definitely much needed relief to those who are looking to buy a home. It has been very difficult out there, especially for those first-time home buyers.
Yeah.
Michael?
All relief is welcome.
Yep.
All right. Thank you, Rebecca. I'm going to go down to the dramatic new video of a Florida plane crash. The body cam footage showing a family of 4 rescued by local residents and first responders. Victor Okendo is in Florida with more. Good morning, Victor.
Good morning, Michael. When that plane crashed within feet of their homes, neighbors told us that it felt like the earth was shaking, but they jumped right into action. And now in that newly released video, we're seeing their heroic efforts. It's a mess. This morning, the dramatic body cam footage showing the rush to rescue a family of 4 inside this small plane.
Get away from here. Go. It's still smoking on the inside. Go back up.
The plane crashing into a Pembroke Pines neighborhood just north of Miami last month.
Plane just came down on our street. Hurry up, please.
Coming within feet of these homes.
The earth was shaking. You know, when I heard it, it was that loud.
Neighborhood heroes jumping in.
I put on my shoes and I just ran. It was already a few of the neighbors outside already. So we had one neighbor with an axe, one had a fire extinguisher. I grabbed the water hose because the plane was on fire.
On board, a family of 4 returning from vacation in Turks and Caicos, crashing less than a mile from North Perry Airport.
Is there anyone still stuck on the plane?
Yes, they are, and there's some citizens trying to rescue them.
3 making it out, 1 still trapped inside. The neighbors gently work to free her.
Have a seat. Have a seat, Mama. Have a seat. You're okay. You guys are okay? Thank God.
The family treated at the scene before being taken to the hospital. Those good Samaritans now recognized for their heroism.
You went in to save lives. And so because of that, we are forever grateful for you, to you. Those families are forever grateful to you, and you're an example in this community.
The official cause of the crash is still under investigation, but those neighbors and city leaders are questioning the safety of that airport that's so close by. Thankfully for those on board, they only suffered minor injuries. Guys?
Oh, boy, I'm glad they're okay. Just minor injuries there. Thank you so much for that. Victor, and coming up in our GMA Morning Menu, the big change to blood pressure guidelines with important shifts in the numbers and treatment for pregnant women. Dr. Tara Narula has the details, including if you should use a risk calculator.
Also ahead, we played a lot of buzzy music for you this morning, but this is the unexpected song of the summer taking over the internet. We've got all the details in pop news.
Yeah, everybody talking about that one. Plus, as kids get ready for the new school year, Lori Bergamato is here with the right stuff for sneakers and shoes. And we have some very excited Laufey fans who are here. The Grammy winner is performing live for our summer concert series. And we can't wait. There they are right there. It's all coming up right here on GMA.
Now it's time for our GMA cover story. For the first time in nearly a decade, there are new guidelines on managing high blood pressure, and they include early treatment for borderline patients. Chief Medical Correspondent Dr. Tara Narula, a cardiologist, is back now with the details. Good morning to you again, Doc.
Good morning.
And tell us, how do these new guidelines and who do they affect, and talk us through them.
Yeah, hypertension, the most modifiable risk factor for cardiovascular disease, affects over 50% of Americans. These are the first updated guidelines since the last ones in 2017. And the idea is that they are going to be a little more tailored, address hypertension a little earlier, and really be a little more aggressive in some cases. And so when you think about medication, we have kind of a breakdown of who needs it and when to start it. And so based on these guidelines, if your blood pressure is over 140 over 90, your doctor is probably going to prescribe medication based on what this recommends. If your blood pressure is 130 over 80 and you have things like diabetes, chronic kidney disease, or a high risk of cardiovascular disease, and we calculate that with a risk calculator of over 7.5%, you will be recommended for medication. Now, where this gets interesting is if your blood pressure is over 130 over 80 and you're lower risk, less than 7.5% risk, then you should try lifestyle changes for 3 to 6 months before you are prescribed medication. The guidelines, they're almost 100 pages long. They talk about a lot of things, but some of the other highlights, pregnant women, those who are pregnant before pregnancy and after, should really have tight control of their blood pressure to control things like preeclampsia, eclampsia. In addition, if we can push the blood pressure down even less than 120, these guidelines say that is helpful. We know they're a risk factor for cognitive decline, dementia, so really important to focus on that. And there's no cutoff for the elderly. Before we used to say if you were older, maybe we let the blood pressure ride a little bit higher. These don't say that. So again, really this focus on tight blood pressure control.
Michael, you haven't aged out of this one.
No, you have not.
Well, when Doc said elderly, she was looking at you and she looked at me at the word elderly, and I was like, did that bad?
All right, we're happy you're in good health here,
Thank
Michael,
you.
always. Dr. Narula, I want to talk to you about that risk calculator you mentioned.
Yes.
How should people be thinking about that? Because there's a lot of numbers here.
So this is a tool that we use, but you can use as well. It's called Prevent. You can go online and look it up. The American Heart Association has created this tool, and it's a risk calculator where we plug in your age, gender, body mass index, whether you smoke, all kinds of factors, and we get a % risk score. What is your % risk of having a cardiovascular event in the next 10 years and the next 30 years? This is meant for people who are ages 30 to 79 with no known cardiovascular disease history. So it's helpful for us as physicians to help tailor things like when do we start blood pressure medicine, but also for you to get an idea of what your risk is.
So what are some of the things that impact our blood pressure, and what can we do about it?
So one of the big things, Whit, is lifestyle. So by that we mean a heart-healthy diet. So the DASH diet, dietary approach to stop hypertension, is one of the best ones for blood pressure. Low sodium, less than 1,500 milligrams a day. More potassium, exercise, weight management. These guidelines talk about GLPs and bariatric surgery. I love that these guidelines talk about stress, and they talk about techniques like meditation or deep breathing. And then one thing that people don't think about, alcohol. So this really says if you can really abstain from alcohol or cut back, that also is going to help your blood pressure. So many things you can do that will drop your blood pressure anywhere from 5 to 10 points. So maybe you don't need medication, and certainly we always recommend lifestyle and medication together, both.
Yeah. So a lot of things you can change on your own to make a difference.
Absolutely.
All right, Doc. Thank you so much.
Thank
There is
you.
hope for me.
There's hope.
Yeah.
Always for you.
Always,
Michael.
always. All right, now it's time for Pop News. Will, what you got?
All right, Michael, we might be focused on blood pressure, but we are going to keep the BPMs high here because we're going again with Mamma Mia. For the past 25 years, there's been some version of Mamma Mia running somewhere around the globe. But now the ABBA Jukebox musical is back on Broadway. Last night, they celebrated their opening night at the Winter Garden Theater. That is the same place where the original musical ran for nearly 14 years. Audiences just can't resist the pop melodies of ABBA. I mean, who can? Neither can the critics. Variety saying the show offers another undiluted shot of ABBA joy, while Time Out New York writes Mamma Mia continues to deliver what its audiences come for, a high-spirited, nostalgic night of vicarious karaoke. 25 of the cast members, many from the North American tour, are making their Broadway debut in the show. It's a limited engagement. It runs through February 1st, 2026, so run, don't walk.
That's a fun one.
Yeah.
You know, I never saw the original Mamma Mia in theaters, so here's my chance. I will be going this time.
Yep.
And now, Chris Hemsworth is documenting his ongoing search for longevity in a 3-part Nat Geo series, Limitless, Live Better Now. This is the second installment in the series. This time around, Chris is taking on science-backed, high-stakes challenges to sharpen his mind. He even enlisted one Ed Sheeran. Take a look.
One of the best ways to boost your brain is to learn a new skill.
You should learn the drums to play a song with me on my stadium tour.
Oh, God, okay.
I think this actually might be the most difficult thing you do.
Yeah, it's... I'm struggling.
Wow.
Wow. Really impressive. You can see how Chris did in front of 70,000 Ed Sheeran fans. There he is. Limitless Live Better Now is streaming now on Disney Plus and Hulu, and it will air on National Geographic on August 25th. I've seen that show. It is a great show.
Yeah. If you play the drums without a shirt, does that help with longevity
if you
too?
look like Chris Hemsworth, you're allowed to play without a shirt.
If you play without a shirt, they don't care what you sound like.
That's
right. Exactly. Good point.
It's not even plugged in. Whatever. It's fine. And finally this morning, as you all know, we've been on the search for the official song of the summer. We really haven't had one that comes to mind. Last year it was easy. No one could escape Sabrina Carpenter's Espresso, but now, in this year, we've kind of come up empty-handed. There's been great music. We have some for you today on this show, as a matter of fact. But we might just have a contender for Song of the Summer coming to us from an unlikely source, TikTok. It's called I Have One Daughter, and the lyrics are sourced from one very confusing Tinder conversation. Take a listen.
You have any kids? Yes, I have one daughter. How about you? How many baby daddies do you have, if you don't mind me asking? Ellipses. I have one daughter. I understand that is she by the same father. I have one daughter. I understand that is she by the same father.
And there you have it. It is certainly catchy. And People Magazine says I Have One Daughter is the accidental. Are you enjoying yourself?
I love that. I mean, that guy's genius. Oh,
it is
boy.
Genius. It's music producer Luke Holloway, the man behind the music. And this was part 25 of his series, Turning Terrible Tinder Conversations into Songs. And you know I love stats. I brought some with me.
Yeah, bring it.
45 million views on TikTok and Instagram. The audio has been used in over 100,000 TikToks and nearly 25,000 Reels. Users applying the sound to all sorts of situations where the questions they're being asked just don't make sense. And now Holloway has released a full version of the song on streaming for your listening pleasure, just in time for the dog days of summer and Labor Day and
it's got that hook.
It does.
It just pulls you right in.
And it so captures the essence. All my friends who are trying to date online, it captures the essence of what it is like to try to maintain those conversations.
But maintain hope, online daters.
Truly, it only takes one. That's your stat for the day.
There you go.
And now to the right stuff. As so many get ready to go back to school, lifestyle contributor Lori Bergamotto is here to make sure your kids truly get off on the right foot. All these items, by the way, are shoppable on our website. Lori, good morning to you.
Good morning,
We're talking
Rick.
shoes, and we're going to start with the preschoolers here, right?
That's right. And you know, back to school shoe shopping is a nearly $50 billion industry.
And it's so stressful for parents.
It is.
Yes.
And so we've taken all the guesswork out, and we're going to start with preschool Crocs. Now, obviously, you can wear these if you're beyond preschool, like my 46-year-old husband. But for preschool, they're great because you can just slide them right on.
No laces.
There's no laces with. This spoken like a true dad.
Yeah, I know exactly what we're talking about
and
here.
The other thing that we love about Crocs is, first of all, you can get them in this regular clog style. They are mud proof. You can hose them down if they get dirty, which we love. Also, they now have fleece lined Crocs, which are great as we move into that fall and winter season. And we found all of these on Zappos. They start around $34. But then we also found Jibbitz. And what we loved about the idea of Jibbitz, you're very familiar with Jibbitz.
Kids got the Jibbitz all over the place.
For those of you who may not know, this is like their form of self-expression.
Yeah.
You can get a 5-pack. We got these on Amazon for under $10. And they're really fun. Like, what would your Jibbitz be, would you say?
Oh my gosh.
Maybe
Let's
a
see.
soccer ball or
Cheeseburger,
something?
soccer ball, a dog. Yeah.
Perfect. Mine would probably be the donut.
There you go.
So those are great right there. And then, as you mentioned, you don't want to have those laces.
Yep.
So this gives that look of laces in a sneaker on Skechers.
I love that.
Right? They're really cool. So these, we actually had producer Sarah's daughter Sloan model the unicorn ones for us. So I think you guys are going to see a picture of her there.
Oh, looking
adorable,
good.
right?
Yeah.
And what we love about these Skechers is the kids can really do this themselves and slide them right on, and they still have that security of a sneaker. Do me a favor and just kind of slide slam that one down
Yes.
on the table, and we can hopefully
here we
see
go.
it light up. There we go. Which kids really love the
Light up
novelty
your
of
life.
that. Light up your life. But I have to tell you what parents will really love. Skechers has a new thing called Find My Skechers. If you look right in here, Whit, you can see there's a little compartment with an air tag. So if you're, and then we can just fold it right up. They'll never know it's there. So if your kids don't ever know where their other shoe is,
Yes.
or maybe you've lost your kid,
Yeah.
you can find it. It is a GPS so that they never lose their shoes, and you don't lose your sanity.
Just tracking the kids at the
Tracking
playground
them,
or
it's
whatever.
fantastic.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
We're moving on to older kids,
Yes,
right? Elementary school
school. So if your kids go to a school where they're required to wear a dress code or uniform, or even, if your girls have one recital or school concert, you need to get a pair of dress shoes. And so we wanted to find a pair that the kids would really be able to use more than just that one time. So we found that at Land's End. These Mary Janes here are great because even though it looks like a buckle, which can be a little bit tricky, it's actually just
perfect.
a Velcro.
My daughters would have been into these.
So really easy. And then we also had production coordinators. Little brother Albright modeled these penny loafers from Land's End. Get to see him. So great.
Dapper.
I mean,
Come
so
on
dapper.
now.
Really fun. So that's for dressy. For the other things at elementary school, these are an icon, the Nike Airs. And these, we've known for 40 years. They're durable. They're really comfortable. These are worth their price tag because you cannot destroy them.
I need to get these.
All right, with Johnson, we got to get those for you in your size. We're going to move on to middle school, the Adidas Sambas. I'm sure these are in your house. This
Everywhere.
is like the signature staple for the Alpha generation. And my daughter Gemma, who's 13, modeled a pair of these for us. The Sambas are great because it's a sleek silhouette. They started as a soccer shoe. I'm sure they're familiar to you,
I played
right?
indoor soccer wearing Sambas back
That's
in the day,
great.
and now my kids are wearing them.
And now they come in so many different options, colors, and designs. And finally, the hybrid of a dress shoe and a comfortable shoe from Hey Dude for boys in middle school. Feel how flexible these are.
Oh, yes.
Fantastic. And you will not argue with them about actually getting dressed up. They come in a million different styles and options. So grab those. Hey
The
Dude.
dude abides.
There you go.
Thank you, Lori. Appreciate it. You can shop all these looks on our website, goodmorningamerica.com, or you can just scan the QR code right there on the screen. Coming up, Chef Josh Capon serves up some of the delicious food that he makes for the U.S. Open. Stay with us.
Welcome back to GMA, live from New York City.
Nice shot of lower Manhattan right there. And we're going to say welcome back, everybody. The U.S. Open starts next week. And not only will there be amazing tennis, but also amazing food. One of the star chefs who will be serving at the U.S. Open is Chef and owner of Little Maven Restaurant and Fly Fish Club. Josh.
Was that some fly fishing?
There's Capon.
Okay.
Josh Capon's here. You see, he's always energetic.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning. He's going to show us recipes that you can make for your at-home watch parties when you watch and host the U.S. Open parties at your place. So, pop-ups. You've been doing pop-ups at the U.S. Open for years.
10th anniversary coming up.
Yeah, why do you keep going back? Why do you keep going back to the U.S. Open?
The U.S. Open is the premier tennis event of the year, in my opinion.
Yeah.
It's also a wonderful annual tradition, and it brings out the best in sports and the best people.
And the best food. Yes,
100%.
1,000%.
We actually called a food festival disguised as a tennis tournament because they bring out the best of the best every year. Hey, congrats to you guys on your new home, by the way.
Thank you.
First time here.
Welcome.
And congrats to you on your hole-in-one.
Thank you.
Pretty cool. Come on, Trey.
The gift that keeps
Football
on giving.
champ and on the golf. All right, let's get going. You
Okay,
ready?
so we got these chicken
We're gonna saute some onions.
tostadas.
Yep, chicken tikka tostadas. We got onions. We got garlic. We're gonna sweat those out a little bit. We do a crab tostada at Fly Fish at the U.S. Open. We're gonna modify it a little bit. We're gonna do a little chicken tikka. You're gonna saute those onions. You're gonna get those garlic going.
Yeah.
Then we got this right here. Right. I love rotisserie chickens.
Yes.
Easy, affordable. So always have a chicken on hand. We're just gonna pull that chicken.
Perfect.
We're gonna mix that all in, right? And then we just take a little fire roasted tomato.
Okay.
Chipotle, right? Everybody knows
Chipotle.
Chipotle.
Yes,
yes.
Smoked jalapenos, a little red Fresno chili for a little heat, a little tomato paste.
And I love that you can.
How you doing?
No, let me get it. I love that you can use rotisserie chicken.
Yes, by the way, every time I'm in the supermarket, buy rotisserie chicken. Is great for chicken salad,
Yeah.
chicken ting. You can pull it and throw it in a pot, so whatever you want. You're gonna cook that down for about 20 minutes. It's gonna get nice and thick and smoky. And through the magic of
looks
television,
amazing.
there we have it right there.
So
Right?
what else do you add in to layer in the flavor
So what
here?
we're gonna do is we're gonna take a little chicken tostada. You
Okay.
ready? You ready? A little chicken tostada. You don't want it to be too wet, but you want to make sure your tostada stays nice and crispy.
And I can eat over here, right?
While you guys over here, huh?
Okay.
Yeah, you go ahead
My
and
new
eat
sous chef over here.
Thank you.
Don't mind me.
over here.
You want to do a nice little even layer. He's already eating over there. I love it. Nice even layer,
Yes.
right? Then we're going to take a little crumbled cotija cheese right over the top.
Beautiful.
Some pickled red onion.
Okay.
Just like that, right? Then we're going to take a little avocado.
Too much.
We call this an avocado petal.
Okay.
And just we're going to slice it like this. You follow my lead over there?
Yeah. Trying to go there.
Excuse me, what's going on over here?
Am I
She's-
doing
you
what
got
you're doing?
skills.
Oh,
Yes,
you're
I'm
making it a
very
petal.
impressed.
Okay, like, okay.
Come on, let's go.
I see
I'm
you.
taking this one
Look
with
at
me
you.
back to 5 minutes. We always serve that with a squeeze of lime.
Okay.
Great way to enjoy
Delicious,
some tennis.
by the way.
Lobster.
So good. All right, let me come
By the
on
way,
down.
new to the U.S. Open this year.
I'll try mine.
We have a mixed doubles championship, bringing out some of the best in sports. We got Djokovic, we got Alcaraz, we got Williams competing for over $1 million in prize money. That's going to be during Fan Week, so come and check that out.
And check out this
And check it out.
lobster roll.
Lobster rolls, by the way, you can't come to the U.S. Open without having one of my world-famous lobster rolls.
100%.
Fresh lobster meat, Hellman's mayo, a key ingredient, by the way, tarragon. Key ingredient, tarragon. A little bit of Tabasco. Come on, we're so happy.
Michael, what do you think?
We're so happy.
Fantastic.
I waited for your mouth to be full before I asked you that question.
Fantastic.
It's all good. And Chef, you're also opening a new restaurant, right?
Capon Shop House.
Tell us about it.
Capon Shop House coming to Hackensack, New Jersey. Very excited about that one. We are adding to the roster over at VCR Group. We got Fly Fish Club. We got Little Maven, Capon Shop House, Capon's Burgers. But right now it's about the U.S. Open. Come on down, everybody. Enjoy some of the best tennis in the entire world. Some of the best food. Some of the best people. Because that's what it's all about.
It is.
We're all about
You're
you,
a
Chef.
blast.
And the
Thank you
best
so
chef
much.
with the best energy in the business.
Truly.
Josh K-Pod, everybody. And, you know, you can get these recipes on GoodMorningAmerica.com. And Josh is going to stick around. He's going to be on GMA3 later to show us another great seafood dish.
Showcase my two-handed backhand.
Yeah, go.
Yes.
Well, we prefer that people watch the U.S. Open with the professionals, which is on ESPN starting on Sunday, August 24th. Josh, appreciate you, man.
Now with our series, Try Before You Buy, Americans spend billions of dollars every year on bottled water. So how can we save money getting clean, filtered water at home? Becky Worley took on the charge. She looked at multiple solutions, and she is here with us now. Hey, Becky.
Hey, Rebecca, you said it. Time, money, environmental waste, potentially more exposure to plastics. These are all reasons people are looking for alternatives to bottled water. The good news is there are more options than ever, and in this shoppable segment, we try before you buy.
If you haven't given up on bottled water yet, you might want to.
Please get rid of your plastic water bottles.
The messages are everywhere. People who say stop buying plastic water bottles. A recent study in the journal NPJ Science of Food found that tiny microplastics can come from water bottles. And multiple studies have shown that microplastics can travel into your lungs, bloodstream, or digestive tract. So it makes sense to drink tap water. It's tested by water municipalities, and federal guidelines dictate water quality standards that say it should have fewer than 500 parts per million of total dissolved solids. But lots of people are still nervous about their water, or they have a well, or they just don't like the taste.
But good news, options for filtering your water at home have really increased, and they've gotten cheaper.
A new product is the Culligan Zero Water Pitcher. It has a built-in meter that tells you what the total dissolved solids are in your water.
But check this out. You can pop the meter out and then test the water from your tap. Mine reads 41 parts per million. Not bad, but if you lived someplace that had a lot of dissolved solids, that number would be a lot higher. So then you run it through the filter and it's going to tell you, once filtered, there's a lot less dissolved solids. Mine reads 0.
You also have lots of other options, like this Water Drop 35-cup fridge dispenser.
Now, if you want filtered water on the go, they have these stainless steel bottles, and the filter is built right into the straw. Kind of genius.
But if you're looking for filtered water straight from the tap, under-sink filters have gotten a lot less expensive and easier to install. This is the Brandell H2O Plus under-counter water filtration system.
Now the question, can I install this without a plumber? Let's see. Okay, I'm handy, but this will be interesting. Voila! It worked! I'm kind of shocked. Now, I already had a hole in here. There was a soap dispenser that I just got rid of, so I didn't have to do any of that. Otherwise, it was pretty easy. It took me about an hour.
So cheers to filtered water that's better for the environment, maybe better for you, and better for your budget.
Now, it's important to note every public water municipality publishes a report on the quality of their water. Most of us have no need to filter. I drink straight from the tap. But if you want to try something like this Culligan pitcher with the dissolved solids meter built in, it's a simple and relatively inexpensive way to do something. And the measuring is a cool peace of mind addition. All of the products we mentioned here are shoppable. And guys, cheers to staying hydrated without plastic water bottles today.
Indeed, cheers. And Michael just said it makes you feel better. So why not just give yourself that treat?
Exactly.
And the thermos was really interesting, Becky, where you went straight through the thermos.
Yeah, on the go.
All right. Thanks, Beck.
Very.
We're over to you, Ginge.
Thank you, Rebecca. And we are so excited for our summer concert with Laufey. I am here in our Glow Up Lounge, where our sponsor, Massage Envy, is giving some lucky fans some skincare consultations. I'm getting a look at my skin. I know I could use a facial at this point. And if you are planning a vacation this summer, you can add a facial to your pre-trip to-do list. Massage Envy suggests scheduling a facial at least 3 to 5 days before your trip to help get you ready to go and your skin all prepped. Now, you want to trust your self-care routine to a team of skilled professionals, and Massage Envy is the place to go for amazing massages, a good stretch, great facials, and other results-driven skincare services. So everybody feeling good? Learning tips?
Yes.
We're good. Okay.
And now it's time for our summer concert series with Grammy-winning, platinum-selling singer Laufey. Her new album, A Matter of Time, comes out next week. And right now, she's going to perform one of the new songs from it, Lover Girl. So give it up for Laufey.
The skyscrapers, cars, and vertigo. The countdown begins in Tokyo. 27 days alone means 20 million ways to cope without you. I'm in a reckless fever, love-struck girl like a teaser. Thought I'd never be her. Quite the job you've done on me, sir. You've been hosting parties. In my mind, I'm working overtime to have you in my world. Oh, what a curse it is to be a lover girl. Forced to get creative, wrote my feelings down. The independent lady in me's nowhere to be found. I can't wait another day to see you. How embarrassing to be this way. I'm in a reckless fever, love-struck girl like a teaser. Thought I'd never be her. Quite the job you've done on me, sir. You've been hosting parties. In my mind, I'm working overtime to have you in my world. Oh, what a curse it is to be in love. I wait by the phone like a high school movie. Dream at the shows you'll come running to me. Think I see you in the wings, but I'm hallucinating. What a reckless fever, love-struck girl like a teaser. Thought I'd never be her. Quite the job you've done on me, sir. You've been hosting parties. In my mind, I'm working overtime. You become my whole world. Oh, what a curse it is to be a lover girl.
All right, we are back now with our summer concert series with Laufey, the Grammy Award-winning singer-songwriter with nearly 5 billion streams that the New York Times calls a phenomenon. She is going to perform another song for us in just a minute, but first we're going to catch up right here. It's so nice to see you.
Thank you so much for having me.
Loving how you're just getting the studio involved this morning, and the clapping really caught my attention. I'm so curious what sort of the executives had to say to you early in the day when you said, I'm going to clap on stage and get everyone involved.
You know, all my managers, they were like, the fans can't do it. You're making it too complicated. And I'm like, no, this audience, like, they're musicians. They're really, really good.
You trusted your audience.
I trusted my audience.
And you trusted yourself.
So far.
And here, the whole thing worked out.
Yeah, it's not that hard.
And you base all of your music on personal experiences. We heard that in the last song. Tell us more about that.
Yeah, I feel like music for me, songwriting is just, it's like my journal come alive, and it's the way I get feelings out. But I think for me, it's also a way of getting my experiences out there in hopes that people resonate to make me feel less crazy.
Less crazy? You feel crazy?
Oh yeah, I feel very crazy.
So we're not alone. Everybody feels it sometimes.
Exactly, that feeling of feeling like you're not alone, that's all I'm searching for.
Thank you, Laufey. Great work.
Thank you.
Okay, ready for another song, everybody? Okay, with the song from the start from her Grammy Award-winning album, give it up for Laufey.
Don't you notice how I get quiet when there's no one else around? Me and you and awkward silence. Don't you dare look at me that way. I don't need reminders of how you don't feel the same. Oh, the burning pain. Listening to you harp on about some new soulmate. She's so perfect, blah, blah, blah. Oh, how I wish you would wake up one day. Run to me, confess your love, at least just let me say that when I talk to you, oh, Cupid walks right through and shoots an arrow through my heart. And I sound like a loon, but don't you feel it to confess I loved you from the start? What's a girl to do? Lying on my bed staring into the blue. Unrequited, terrifying. Love is driving me a bit insane. Have to get this off my chest. I'm telling you today that when I talk to you, Cupid walks right through and shoots an arrow through my heart. And I sound like a loon, but don't you feel it to confess I loved you from the start? Confess I loved you. Just thinking I know I loved you from the start.
We want to give a big thank you to Laufey for that incredible performance, kicking our weekend off in the right way. And hey, to the audience showing up, waking up at 4:30 to be here and support. Have a great weekend, everybody.